I guess they couldn't have found a more accurate title than this. The game has self-deleted. It is a complete joke. There are indie games made by one guy in his basement, right? Like a smelly geek that the progressives are afraid of, that they have a phobia of. That smelly geek makes an indie game, which probably has more than 1,000 players playing. Meanwhile, you have an army of gender studies experts, the brightest mind that the gaming industry has to offer, and this is what they created. If you don't know the joke, there are more people that have purchased Return to Arkham on PS5 now. Like that game has its sales peaking, specifically because of Suicide Squad. Like, there were people that bought this. They were like, well, what is this garbage? What is this trash? Like, no, I don't want it. They would refund it, and it's like, you know what? I genuinely like want to play some Batman now. I have a craving. So they would buy old games that came out 10 years ago or even 15 years ago, because those games are better. And I said this in a previous stream, and I'm going to repeat myself because, like, this is a talking point that I would like, if possible, you guys to use it on various forums and Twitter, because it's so true, right? Like, those smelly, icky geeks that were making the video gaming industry before 2014, they were like money printers. They were like Biden and the Fed going on, you know, just printing cash nonstop, creating culture, broadcasting American values around the world. Like, people in China, Indonesia, Germany, everyone knew who Batman was. And apparently, like, no, those were like evil straight white men, bigots, cisgender, transphobic. So they got rid of them. And instead you have like the gender ideologues from the universities. And they can't produce shit, right? This is why get woke, go broke is a thing. This is why I get triggered when rags say, oh, don't call this game woke. They stop using the word woke. How can I describe the corruption that happened in an industry? Like if you refuse to hire competent people that actually make video games for a living, and instead you go and you hire diversity officers and gender majors that have nothing but disgust and disdain, not just for the source material, but for the audience itself, how can you expect that they will make a good product? Like, in what world do you expect that? You need to be insane to believe that if you put these people at the top, if you put these people in charge, it's not going to affect the end product. And you know, there's like another video that I released a couple of weeks ago, which actually shows a compilation of these people that are placed in charge of the product saying, oh, I never liked this IP. Oh, I hated this IP. Oh, I never ever even considered being a fan of this, right? And it's constant. It's constant. Like, you have these individuals, these chuckleheads, that are being placed at the top of multi-billion-dollar companies, and they're tanking them. Like, the thing that is absolutely bizarre is that, you know, if someone were to give me a job, I don't know, like at the nuclear power plant, let's say, right? And all of a sudden I find myself earning tens of thousands of dollars per month, and I know I don't belong there. I know I don't deserve to be there. You know what I would do? I would spend all of my time trying to learn, like getting from zero and trying to learn so that at least I can fit the shoes that have been thrusted upon me, right? But these people aren't placed at a nuclear power plant. They're placed in charge of entertainment. They're placed, it's like, okay, make a video game about Batman. I mean, for fuck's sakes, how hard it is to pick up Batman comic books and start reading. And start treating the source material with respect. Like, even if you don't like it, if I was to be placed in charge of making 50 Shades of Grey, or making Twilight, or something that I genuinely don't like, okay, like, I don't care, but what I would do is I would go like, all right, well, let's start reading the books then, right? So you start reading Twilight, you start reading 50 Shades, even if you don't like it, at least you're trying to understand, like, what made it great. Why is it that married women go to the cinema to see this, right? Like, and I, as a man, would try to understand. It's like, all right, then you go on forums, you see discussions, you see conversations, you see what made it great. And then you create something and you get fucking rich, because at the end of the day, this should be the goal, right? Like, this should be the purpose. It's like, get wealthy. But no, these people aren't like that. These people are arrogant. They hate the IP. They hate the fans. They're very vocal about it. Like this is not some sort of conspiracy. It's like, oh, look, they went with a hidden camera. You have O'Keefe from Project Veritas going into Ubisoft or Montreal and finding out what they have to say behind closed doors. No, like they literally go on Twitter and they say how much they hate you. They say how much they dislike you. They say all these things, right? That they have like these viral toxic marketing campaigns and their games crash. Like for instance, right? Literally in the Suicide Squad, you have Harley Quinn finding her old outfit. And she is mocking it. She's disgusted by her old outfit. She's basically saying it's like, oh, that was a phase. I grew up, right? So like, you're an immature child if you like the previous Harley Quinn, right? Like if you're a masculine individual that is in tune with his own sexuality, you're a child. You're an imbecile. You're disgusting. You're a pig. You know, this is the message that the developers were giving to the previous fans. And you know, like if you know anything about the entertainment and the history of video games, you would know that when they did the same with Dante, that game flopped, right? Because they changed the look of Dante and they had like this spiteful cutscene towards the fans where Dante has a mop that falls on top of his head and his hair looks like the previous version, which fans wanted. And Dante says, oh, not in a million years, right? So he's disgusted. This is like when the writer uses the character like a VTuber in order to spite the fans, in order to tell the fans like, fuck you, right? Give me your money. But the problem is when you tell people to fuck off, like why would they give you their money? With what right? So this is what's happening now. You get Suicide Squad with less than 1,000 players. I mean, this has to be an accomplishment. You know, there are games that came out 10 or 15 years ago and have more than 1,000 players. I wouldn't be surprised if Batman Arkham Asylum right now on Steam has more than 1,000 players. Like, it's literally that bad, you know? And the thing is, like, these people have no shame. Like, I would resign. I would fucking resign if this was the end result of my work. But no, these people fell upwards. Like, I guarantee to you, the people who worked on this project, they will say that nothing that they did is wrong. It's not their fault, you know? It's someone else's fault. And when that happens, they will just work on another project. I mean, for the love of God, you know, these people put Greta Thunberg lookalike as Poison Ivy, right? So they created the lore, they created the story to justify Poison Ivy appearing like a child just because she doesn't have tits and ass, right? So like to desexualize the only most sexual villain, like sexuality is her identity, Poison Ivy, right? To desexualize her, they made her into a child. And then they have like an army of people on Twitter. It's like, well, actually, you know, it makes sense in the lore. It makes sense in the story. Well, I hope you and the 999 other people who enjoyed this game have a good time playing, because we're definitely not. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.